Okay, let's get chatting. Let's get talking about what we're seeing here. So, as you guys could have guessed, this is the creature that Alvaro is sculpting for us tonight. It's very exciting. It's what you're seeing here is the beginning of a brand new sculpt. It's a brand new creature to hit the world of Pangea. Once Alvaro has worked his magic on it. And whilst Alvaro works, David and I are going to be talking about some very exciting exclusives regarding the game. But before we go into that, let's talk a little bit more about what Alvaro is doing. So I'm probably going to butcher the creature's name right now. So don't come at me in the comments if you guys know the pronunciation better than me. But I think what we're looking at tonight, correct me if I'm wrong, David, is a Stenonychosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good pronunciation?
I'm not going to correct you on the pronunciation.
Hey, we're looking at a Stenonychosaurus. Yeah, the Stenonychosaurus head is nodding, which is good.
But
so all of our creatures in Pangea have got lovable nicknames. Alvaro works a lot on the background of these creatures before he even starts sketching properly what they're going to look like in Pangea. And he comes up with incredible backstories for them, and it helps him. It inspires the sculpt. It inspires the way that the creature looks. And so there's heavy lore for each creature, and for the Stenonychosaurus, it's lovingly called a Mara by the Oppidomites. And actually, it's been so long since I've heard the lore about the Mara that I can't quite remember why it is that they call that. Can you remember why the Oppidomites call a Stenonychosaurus a Mara, David?
Yeah, I believe Alvaro has told me quite some times right now. It's called Mara because of the origin of the name Nightmare. Because what? Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. I remember now.
Yeah. So the main idea is that this creature is like haunting their dreams, right? Is it, Alvaro? Am I right?
Not if he's right.
Yeah. The thing is that the Mara was the creature that was appearing on the dreams on the. Yeah. Was it Alvaro?
Yeah, so we can see actually in the splash screen, we can see some of the inspiration here. So if you look in the bottom left corner, I think Alvaro might be showing us actually. But because a lot of the Epidomite inspiration is from Celtic culture across the ages, the Celts had a lot of their mythology was based in dreams, and there was sort of early paganism, so there's a little bit of crossover with demonology and things like that. And this whole idea of what we call today a like sleep paralysis demon. Like, what do you guys call that over in Spain? Do you have a word for that? A sleep paralysis demon? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah, but actually, I don't know. In my case, I don't know. Alvaro, I know that he knows for sure.
Alvaro definitely knows what a sleep paralysis demon is. He experiences it without a doubt. But they
Alvaro, lower down the notepad because we cannot see it. Center it. Yeah, put it on the center.
Alvaro is dealing with his own little demon at the minute because he's got a rabbit at home that has chewed through some cables. So, which is why we can't hear from Alvaro tonight, sadly. But getting back to the Stenonychosaurus, so it's inspired by this idea of the sleep demon. So the artists have like made that you can see across time that this has been the inspiration for a lot of art, for a lot of mythology. but you can see in that bottom left corner of the splash screen, there's a little demon guy with horns dancing on the sleeping man's chest. And that's what they believed would happen to people when they suffered from sleep paralysis, is that a demon would come in the night and sit on your chest and stop you from moving and breathing properly. And so this is where, yeah, you're right, David. That's where the Mara gets its nickname from, because Mara has come from the original word for nightmare. So yeah, the Maras, I think the idea is that the Mara for Epidemites are almost like cat-like creatures. They treat them as sort of like feline companions. So the Stenonychosaurus in Pangea will be a companion creature. So it will help out the player character a lot with different tasks, with different quests. It will come with certain skills and attributes that will help the player out as the player navigates the world of Pangea, and also help it out in combat. Obviously, help the player out in combat too. So yeah, you're getting a little insight there with the sketches of how Alvaro comes up with the designs for the creatures. And what's really interesting here as well, what I love, is that the Stenonychosaurus is featured here with feathers, which, David, is not something that we see all too often, right?
Yeah, we're still used to the Jurassic Park like creatures, right? All like lizard scales. But yeah, Alvaro is one of those that keeps updating his repertoire, his background. He's constantly seeking ways of adding all these new additions that the science has discovered for these creatures to have. And he's trying to always implement them on our creatures, which is something cool because dinosaurs with feathers, they look really much more nice, right?
Yeah, they look amazing, and I think it takes them out of this cinematic universe that we're all really familiar with, and actually somehow it feels like they're placed better in our like historical biology. Like, I don't know, when I see the picture of the Stenonychosaurus with its feathers, it's like, yeah, I can imagine that in the global ecosystem as we know it, like not just as a monster in a film. It actually feels like something that you can imagine walking the earth, I think. So that's really, really interesting. And I think it just looks super cool with the feathered head as well and its little feathery horns. I think it looks so cool. I love
Yeah,
what
I love the front image that we have there.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, the profile shot of it is so nice. So I can't wait to see the Stenonychosaurus being fully sculpted. So for those interested, Alvaro is working in ZBrush right now. He's a bit of a master of ZBrush, and it's really cool to see how he works in these initial stages with these models. Obviously, it's quite a labor-intensive task. Hello from France. Good to hear you from France. Lycantrique, I think, is the username there. Lycantrique. Good to have you. Please keep sounding off in the comments about what you think of our Stenonychosaurus design, and give Alvaro some love whilst he works. And yeah, we'll carry on letting him work, and we'll check in with him. We'll keep checking in with him. But we don't have an awful lot of time on the stream. We don't want to keep you guys too long. So whilst we have you, I think we've got about 13 people tuning in right now, which is really lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. We actually wanted to take this opportunity to announce some very exciting exclusives about Pangea, which David and I will talk about whilst Alvaro goes to work. So just to take you guys on the journey a little bit, I think probably a lot of the people that are tuning in with us right now are probably our Discord community. And if you're not, you're obviously very welcome to. And please take a look at our Discord. You can find the links on our social channels. But yeah, it's probably safe to say that most people that are tuning in right now have been real loyal followers of the game and a big part of our community, and are a big part of the reason why we are doing what we're doing. You know, we want to deliver a game to you. We want to see you guys in the world of Pangea and interacting with this world that we've built. So thank you so much for your continued support so far. What we came to the realization of recently, as you guys can imagine, working as an indie game studio part-time, you know, all of us have full-time jobs and we're all working on it as a passion project. Most of us sort of, to be honest, working for the first time on a game of this sort of scale and this sort of ambition. So it's a huge, ambitious project. And we obviously did our Kickstarter to help us get to a vertical slice of the game, which we were incredibly overwhelmed with the support from you guys on. And we were so happy that you guys engaged with that and helped us fund the vertical slice of the game. And we've invested some of the money that we had from Kickstarter into seeing that vertical slice happen. But we realize there's a lot more work to do, and there's a lot more work to do in order to really engage investors and backers in the game community, in the game investment community in a really meaningful way. And the hurdle that we kept coming up against when trying to engage these people is they love our concept. They love Django's joined the stream. Hi, Django.
Yeah. He was ravaging here.
Little doggo Yoda. Yeah, one of the hurdles we kept coming up against was they love our concept. They love what we're trying to do. They love the ambition of the game, but it's very hard for people to back in a big way indie game studios when the team haven't delivered a game yet, when they haven't delivered a product to market, and they want to see that this team is able to deliver a product to market before any meaningful backing happens. So we were at a bit of a crossroads. We were like, how do we invest the rest of our money from the Kickstarter properly, and how do we deliver something to the community that doesn't feel like we're going back on ourselves or we're changing our promises? So we wanted to deliver you something really soon, really quickly, with all the work that we've been putting into it, all the incredible artwork, all the incredible coding that's happening and the programming, that still feels like it's in the world of Pangea, but isn't so much of a big task. And we can do it with the resources we have, with the time we have, and with the people that we have. So we have decided to, in the coming months, launch a bite-sized version of Pangea Beyond Extinction in a slightly different format. We've decided that we're going to, it's going to be a prequel of the game that we eventually want to deliver to you guys. So instead of an MMORPG, we're going to deliver it as a single player action RPG. It will obviously still be set in the world of Pangea. The playable character will be in the world and the lore of the Epitomites, which hopefully you guys are familiar with. We've spoken about the Epitomites a lot, and we've shown a lot of sort of artwork and lore around the Epitomites. And we really believe that we can deliver that to you guys in a matter of sort of we're working to a schedule of about 6 months right now. So within half a year, we hope to have at least a beta that we can deliver you guys and you can help us test. We're really keen to allow early access to the people that have followed us for for the whole journey and have been supporting us since day one. So we'll keep you updated on that. But what I will say is that the team are hugely excited about this new direction. It feels like we've spent so long banging our heads against a brick wall, figuring out how we can deliver you this huge game, when actually, if we start a bit smaller, we can tempt investors to come on board with us, and then eventually we can deliver the full game for you. But we're super excited about it. We've got a rejuvenated team. We've brought back in old members and original members of the team, and we've even welcomed some extremely exciting new talent to the team as well. And we're all really super hyped about it, and we can't wait to deliver it to you guys and get you guys playing it. So David, that's a bit of an overview of everything, right? Is there anything else you wanted to add about the sort of the basic overview of the direction?
Yeah, man. I will try also to answer that question from Lycanthric. Let's see. So the main goal is to have like two separate projects right now. We put on a hold on the MMO part, right? And we focus now on the single player. So it's going to be, our aim is a full game single player with the limits, or well, the limitations that we can basically afford for this project. As Connor has said, is going to be set up on the area or region of the Opidamites. What can we say? You will be like one of the first settlers from the region, because of the background of the Opidamites. They haven't properly settled down on any of the regions that they have been living. We could say that they were like nomads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is that you come into this game and you're with the tribe trying to settle down, and you're gonna be helping them develop the settlement into a city. Okay, so you will be like the hero trying to protect them from the different herds of dinosaurs, from enemy attacks. You will be gathering resources, upgrading the city, etc. I don't know if that's a good answer for you, Lycanthric.
Yeah, let us know if we answered that question, Lycanthric. But yeah, so the whole, for those guys that aren't too familiar with the lore of Pangea, we don't really go into too much depth about the very beginnings of the continent. But what we can tell you is that a kind of temporal convergence happens at some point in time that makes all these different cultures from across human history as we know it basically get sucked through a time portal and end up on the same continent, which is why you have all these different ancestries, as we call them, or civilizations that are inspired by and influenced by cultures that we know today throughout our history. But those civilizations develop on Pangea in such a way that they become pretty unrecognizable from what we know in our own history. So, excuse me, they become true Pangean civilizations. But this Pangea action RPG prequel to the main game is gonna, as David said, is gonna be set early on in the Opidamite journey. So before they have a fully recognizable region that will eventually become Opidam. There's still very small settlements and small tribes around the region that are just trying to survive, and it won't be it won't have the mechanics of a survival RPG, but it will have the sort of narrative of somebody, the player character, who becomes the kind of hero of their settlement as they try and protect the settlement from rival tribes, from nomadic people and barbaric people, and obviously the creatures of Pangea and the harsh terrain of Pangea. So it's very much set in the infancy of this Ancestry's journey, which we're super excited about, because we always plan to start Pangea Beyond Extinction like 100 years after the convergence happens, so they're already pretty built up and well-established civilizations, and this prequel will give everyone a little insight into how that happened, and I think that's a really exciting concept. But David, we haven't even announced what the game title is. So
Yeah, do
after
the honors.
after
Do
a
the honors.
after a little drum roll,
Yeah,
the the Pangea prequel action RPG, single player action RPG that we're currently working on and working to deliver to you guys will be called Pangea Dawn. Obviously we labored a lot over that title, and we wanted something really simple, something that really hit the nail on the head, that sounded clean, and also it kind of loosely harks back to the inspirations for the Epidemites. So there's a lot of Scandinavian influence in this ancestry. Scandinavia is really well known for the Aurora Borealis. Aurora is also Latin for dawn, and there's a lot of Latin and Roman and Germanic influence in the Epidemites as well. So it all tied in really nicely. It obviously relates to the fact that it's the beginning of something as well. It's the beginning of the Epidemite civilization, and how this really mighty, feared and revered civilization comes to be so powerful, with all the skill set that they have. So yeah, the game that we'll be delivering to you in what we hope to be about a 6-month timeline is Pangea Dawn, and we can't wait to carry on giving you updates on Pangea Dawn through the Discord and through our social channels. The work is happening, and it's happening pretty quick. We're off to a really strong start. This week actually is the first week that this week is actually the first week that we officially started production. So the last few weeks have been sort of planning and making timelines and getting the team together, and just putting a plan in place that everyone was on the same page, updating the GDD, which obviously is a never-ending task, and David is constantly working his way through the GDD to get it where it needs to be. And now this week has been our first official week of production, and yeah, we're off to such a strong start. It's so nice to see the team firing on all cylinders again, working at its best, producing some amazing work. David, do you want to give some little insights into what kind of stuff the team are currently working on?
well, basically, we started this week with besides the GDD, the game design documentation that is constantly expanding, we've been working on props already for the props that we lack for this new approach. We've started also some new concepts for this new settlement. What else? Concepts about the buildings, the environment. We keep on having concepts from Alvaro for the dinosaurs. Not dinosaurs, overall creatures, right? That we're gonna have. We also started moving a bit more into the animation direction. That we were a bit, let's say, weak on that direction yet. And the coding team is just keep on working on the new direction of this game.
There will be different levels to the game that kind of work seamlessly, kind of like an RPG, open world RPG. You could expect an open world RPG to work, but there will be kind of levels to it. We want some element of open world, a little bit of semi-open world mechanics going on, so you can sort of roam free around the settlement and around the region. But these levels will be based on the expansion of your settlement in order to try and get it to a proper fortified town so that it has all the defenses it needs against all of the threats that Pangea poses. So yeah, that's how the sort of narrative of the game will work. We'll still have a lot of the mechanics that we've been planning for Pangea Beyond Extinction. So in Pangea Dawn, you'll still have the opportunity to befriend creatures, to use them in special quests and tasks and combat, to breed creatures as well. We're still planning on having the breeding mechanic with the incredible skin. What do we call that mechanic, David?
The dynamic skin.
Dynamic skin, yeah, with the dynamic skin involved, so that you can see how your creature's offspring changes depending on which creatures you're combining. What other mechanics are we bringing over to Pangea Dawn?
From the MMO, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's almost the same as the MMO, but we're bringing in a bit more of dynamism with the action RPG component. So what you could expect is more fast-paced combat in that sense. But everything that we've been talking about, as you mentioned, the breathing system, the taming system, well, the befriending, as we call it, it's all gonna be in this game.
Amazing. It's very exciting. We can't wait to share more work with you. And as soon as we have stuff that we can share, be it concepts or 3D sculpts or animation cycles, which are happening right now, one of the community's much beloved creatures actually is in the process of having an animation cycle be it created for him. So we're very excited to share that with you guys. Like Intrigue has asked, will I be able to mount the 3-pointy 10-ton murder machine?
Yes, you will.
And the answer to that is abso-friggin-lutely. Is it even Pangea if you can't mount a 3-pointy 10-ton murder machine? I don't think so. So we will absolutely be
especially being an epitomite, right?
Yeah, especially being epitomite. You'll soon learn. I know, like Intrigue, you said that you're not too familiar with the lore, but that's fine. But you'll soon learn that epitomites have a special place in their hearts for ceratopsians. So they feature very heavily in Pangea Dawn. But David, I guess we've had these guys on the stream for a little while now, almost an hour.
Yeah.
And that's flown by. We really hope that you guys have enjoyed the announcements that we've made. We can't wait to go on this journey with you. We're super excited about what's to come over the next few months. Please keep supporting us, even when even though we've gone quiet at times because we've had a lot to sort out. We've always been working in the background for you guys, and we always appreciate your support. So please keep sharing what we're doing. Please keep interacting with what we're doing. It really does mean the world to us. And yeah, maybe we can take Titanosaurus said, gave me more hope for the game. Amazing. We're really pleased. As I said, we have been working tirelessly in the background. There's just a hell of a lot of things that go into game development that we can't show you, which is a real shame. But now we're at a place where we've got a team fully working on all cylinders, and we will have loads more stuff to show you in no time at all. Maybe before we log off, we can just have a final look at where Alvaro's got to with the Stenonychosaurus. Alvaro, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, here he is. I mean, what you've managed to capture in the space of not even an hour, Alvaro, is so amazing already. You can see the little creases around his eyes, just the little details that are already starting to come in, and I can't wait to see this guy fully feathered as well. I just think it's going to be such a hit in the game. I think everyone's going to want their own Mara. So great work, mate. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, amazing.
Cool. Well, let's call it there for the day. I know Alvaro's probably still going to keep on working because he doesn't stop. But we'll let you guys go and enjoy your Friday night. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We really appreciate all your support. And thank you for being at the start of the Pangea Dawn journey with us. And we will see you next time.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Adios.